We got rid of the ugly, but the site looks a little empty. We'll improve things by loading fixtures, which are dummy data we put into the database. When we started the project, we downloaded the Symfony Standard Edition, our pre-started project that came with Symfony and other tools like Doctrine. Unfortunately, it didn't come with any tools for handling fixtures. But we're smart enough, let's just add a fixtures library ourselves. And by using Composer, doing this won't suck. Head over to knpbundles.com and search for fixtures. Click on Doctrine Fixtures Bundle. Yeah, the one with the high quality score. Now click again to read its documentation. Composer is a PHP dependency management library. It downloads different libraries into our project and makes sure that their versions are all compatible with each other. It works by reading the composer.json file inside your project. It downloads all of the libraries under the require key and any libraries that they may depend on. To get the Doctrine Fixtures bundle, copy the line from the documentation and paste it at the end of your require key. Each library has two parts, its name and the version you want. The name comes from a site called packages.org. You can find almost any PHP library here and the versions available. But using dev master stinks. This tells Composer to grab the latest commit to the master branch, whatever craziness that might be. Go back to the libraries page on Packagist. Anything without the dev at the end is a stable version. For me, the latest is 2.2.0. Let's use that, but add a tilde sign to the front of it. With a tilde, this really means 2.2.star. Composer explains the different version formats really well on their site. Okay, let's download this library. We'll need the composer.far file from earlier. Just move it into the project. And remember, this is just a normal file, so you can download as many of these as you want at getcomposer.org. Now run php composer.far update and pass it the name of the library. This may work for a little while as Composer thinks really hard about dependencies. Eventually, it'll download Doctrine Fixtures bundle and its dependent Doctrine Data Fixtures library into the vendor directory. While we wait, let's look at a small mystery. We know that Composer reads information from composer.json. So what's the purpose of the composer.lock file that's at the root of our project, and how did it get there? Composer actually has two different commands for downloading vendor stuff. The first is update. It says, read the composer.json file and update everything to the latest version specified in there. So if today we have Symfony 2.4.1, but 2.5.0 gets released, a Composer update would upgrade us to the newest version. That's because our Symfony version constraint of tilde 2.4 allows for anything greater than 2.4, but less than 3.0. Hold up, that could be a big issue. What happens if you deploy right as Symfony 2.5.0 comes out? Will your production server get that version, even though you were testing on 2.4.1? That would be lame. Because Composer is definitely not lame, each time the composer.far update command is run, it writes a composer.lock file. This records the exact versions of all of your vendors at that moment. And that's where the second command, install, comes in. It ignores the composer.json file and reads entirely from the composer.lock file, assuming one exists. So as long as you run install on your deploy, you'll get the exact versions you expected. Unless you're adding a new library or intentionally upgrading something, always use composer.far install. And when you do need to add or update something, you can be more precise by adding composer.far update and passing it the name of the library you're updating like we did. With this, Composer will only update that library instead of everything.